Speaking of elections in Georgia, Republican majority state Senate is set to vote on a bill passed by the House that would redraw 9 of their districts in an effort to protect their majority. If the bill passes, it would redraw the lines for 8 Republican-held seats in 1 Democratic district. The changes would reduce the number of people of color in districts where these Democratic-leaning voters have threatened to oust Republican incumbents. Critics say the move is illegal under the Equal Protection Clause, which bars states from using race as the, quote, predominant factor in redistricting. Joining us right now via FaceTime from Columbus, Georgia, Democratic State Representative Carolyn Hugley, the Minority Whip. Representative Hugley, I got to ask you, this is by, and we see this around the country, by packing black folks in districts, removing them out of Republican districts. This is an effort to make sure that they're not going to boot that Republican out of office.
Let me first say good morning, and you're absolutely right. When we pack African-American voters into districts and remove them from competitive districts, that's the result that you're going for.
And when you talk about that, the motivation here, I mean, they're very blatant with what they're trying to do.
Yes, they came out with the bill in 2 days, and they voted it out of committee. There was no public comment. There's no explanation as to why they
No discussion?
No discussion. No public comment from any member of the public. They brought it into committee. They voted it out. It was on the floor the next day, and the Republican majority voted for these new map changes.
How do you stop it?
Well, of course, it's going to go to the Senate, and we're hopeful that members of the public will express their concern about it. I don't know if we can stop it with numerical numbers because the Republicans are in the majority, but we will have to have all of our options open and look to the courts to find relief for this kind of activity. This is a continuation of what they did in 2015. 2015, they tweaked these districts, and our candidates did such a great job. They almost won in 2016, so they came back to tweak some of these districts again. So it's a testament to the fact that our leader and our team here in Georgia had good candidates, and we don't mind running in competitive districts, because we'll put our people out there and we'll put them to work. But what this amounts to is moving the goalposts every time we get close.
All right, then. We certainly appreciate it. Carolyn, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
All right, Sue, what's up? Why can't Republicans compete fairly to racially gerrymandered districts? And again, this is not just Georgia. We see this in North Carolina. That was one of the lawsuits there. We saw this in Texas. We've seen this other places where literally the removal of African Americans out of areas, trying to pack them in the district so they have no impact on Republican lawmakers.
That's right. Look, I think it was a week ago that we had a conversation about gerrymandering and about wanting to redraw districts so that an African-American community could have better representation in their elected state house.
No,
so
actually, no,
either you're okay with redrawing lines or you're not.
No, stop. Actually, you're wrong. No, you're absolutely wrong there. The discussion that we had dealt with what took place in Pasadena, where Latinos were impacted. The discussion we also had dealt with at-large districts, where what happened there, and this is historic, where you've seen this over the years, since the Voting Rights Act of '65, where you've had single-member districts, because what many places in the South did, they had all the positions being at-large, which meant that a larger white population elected folks and ignore the black population. That's how you created single-member districts on city councils as well as county commissioners' courts. That's been totally different than removing African Americans out of districts, packing them into Democratic districts so they have no impact on Republican districts. Sue, totally different.
That's right. In fact, Roland, it's interesting because Georgia, of course.
I've only been covering this, since I was 14.
No, he's right. I mean, this is the political strategy, right? The Supreme Court has decided that political gerrymandering is okay, but this is a proxy for racial gerrymandering. That's exactly right. But you see in Georgia versus Ashcroft, you see it, as you say, Roland, in voting rights law, the Shaw versus Reno line. What they do is diffuse the number of blacks, but now what we have to do, tying it back to what you raised in St. Louis, is get registered and go out there and vote, because the demographics in Georgia are against this white supremacy.
Angela, 30 seconds.
Well, my question just back to Sue. This is not, it's not just about the racial gerrymandering. It's also about the voter ID laws. It's about restricting the polling places in college campuses. The Republicans know that the American people are actually not on their side. The demographics are changing, are not on their side, and so they're changing the rules.
That's right.
And it's very simple. If you want to compete, compete. But don't play the racial games, because it's not cute.
A peaceful protest turned deadly. 37-year-old black man was shot and killed by Baton Rouge police. His hands are in the air, and you still get shot by the cops.
Oh my God, please don't tell me he's dead.
We're not gonna let hate define us.
Race is a big part of this.
If truly all lives matter, then all lives need to matter equally. What we require is action. What we require is accountability. We understand that black lives do matter, and we will keep focused on this issue.
NewsOne Now, every weekday morning at 7 on TV1.